Welcome to our Staff Fix Happy Hour. Cheers. Here are your favorite library marketers, me, Amanda, Emily, and Samantha. We can't wait to tell you about our favorite 4 reads, starting with me. The Book of DARRYL by The Goggles. What in the heck are, or who are the Goggles? They're actually these 2 little elves that live in my basement. No, I'm just kidding. The Goggles are award-winning creators Paul Shoebridge and Michael Simons. What is the Book of DARRYL? It is highly illustrated. It is full of angst. It's crazy. It's deeply touching. It's the story of the long lost story about a metalhead high school loser, much like me, whose best friend is the son of God, naturally. They start a band. It's called Iron Messiah. Get it? And it all happens in Roman-occupied ancient Nazareth. What's interesting about this book is that when you put up your phone to a certain page or a certain spot, the book comes to life with GIF animations, sound effects, and an original heavy metal score. It's totally trippy. It's not yet available on Edelweiss, but I hope you'll check it out. Thanks.
Did you have a child of God best friend in high school?
She did not think of herself as a child of God, or the daughter of God, but I did, and her name was Jackie Brand. And I actually just Googled her because I was curious, because she and I stayed friends for many years, and I don't know why we ever lost touch, because we fought a lot, I think, as you do with your best friend. I met her in middle school. She was the first person to come up to me at this school that I started in the middle of the year, I think, and she was like, "Do you want to hang out?" And I was like, "No, I want to hang out in the corner by myself." But she kept pushing me every day. She was like, "Why don't you come hang out?" And I'm like, "I don't want to hang out."
Aww.
I know. I was just really shy. Shocking. Anyway, Jackie Brand. We didn't go to the same college, but we stayed in touch through college, but now I think she's a lawyer in LA, and I kind of want to find her and be like, "What's up, Jackie Brand?"
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, long story. Yeah.
And then also high school. Were you in a band?
No, I wish, but I was a total groupie, and I keep wanting to call the band name Dude Where's My Shirt, but I don't think that's what it was called. And I was in honors and AP classes, and all the guys that were in this band were also in honors and AP classes, so we're all total dorks together. Yes, but it was kind of cool, you know? And
does marching band count?
Totally counts, marching band. That is a band.
Let's say I was a marching band groupie. My sister was in it, and I went to every show, every competition, winter drumline. It was great.
We had the choice between band and chorus, and I was in chorus, and I know we had to start doing auditions, and then I got cut. But it was fun.
If you guys write, sorry, go ahead.
I tried out for chorus in middle school, and I got cut immediately, and they do it in front of everyone, and I think I just put my head down and cried. This is the worst day of my life, middle school, being cut from chorus.
Harsh. Middle school is a horrible time to be doing that sort of open shaming. Rude.
Wow, brutal.
If you could write a movie score or a soundtrack for your life, what would you include?
So right now I'm obsessed with Fleetwood Mac and The National and Led Zeppelin. So if you could put them all in somehow.
Can you imagine all 3 of those bands collaborating on something?
Yes. I don't even know what that would sound like.
I want one single song written by all 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what mine would be. I feel like I have very weird eclectic tastes. So like on angry days, it would be Disturbed. And then on like happy days, it would be, what's her name? Christina Perry. And I go like totally both directions.
Mine would probably be like a musical or something.
That's
Not
good.
really this way.
Something to sing with.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I want to tell you guys about my book. It is called Brotherhood Betrayed, The Man Behind the Rise and Fall of Murder, Inc. by Michael Cannell. And so this one is really cool for any true crime, old-timey mobster fans out there. It's the story of Murder, Inc., which is the enforcement arm of a coast-to-coast mob network that was known as the Commission. And a man named Abe Rillis, a trusted enforcer turned snitch, whose body was discovered crushed on a rooftop below his heavily guarded hotel room. And you have to ask yourself, was that a botched escape attempt or possibly punishment for betraying the country's most powerful mobsters? So this book really takes us back to a time when crime was like organized crime. It's a world of money and power and depravity and corruption and street corner ambushes and elaborately choreographed hits by wisecracking foot soldiers with names like Bugsy Goldstein and TikTok Tannenbaum. And I feel like there's a sort of nostalgia for historical true crime stories like this, and it really is just morbidly fascinating to read. And it is on Edelweiss now if you guys want to dive in as well.
Do you like true crime?
I really do. I have been on like a true crime documentary kick recently, and I find them just fascinating. It's like, how is this real life? The one that sticks with me the most is on Netflix, and it's called The Keepers. And I think it does a really good job of starting with this, sort of normal mystery where this nun is found murdered. And then throughout this season, it just blows up, and all of this stuff was happening behind the scenes, and it is just so depraved, and I have never been that disturbed in my entire life. And it is just a wild, wild story.
Who would kill a nun? I mean, what?
Well,
What's
that's the question,
history?
isn't it? Maybe she knew something that she shouldn't have known.
Mm-hmm.
Book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They just turned it into a documentary. The first episode is out. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm itching to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the story of the Golden State Killer.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
I many years ago read this gruesome book called Shake the Devil Off by Ethan Brown, and it's about an Iraq war veteran who committed suicide after he dismembered his girlfriend. And the opening scene includes the cops opening all the areas where he stored her different body parts, including the refrigerator. And it's not just about PTSD, it's Katrina, it's war. It's so good and disturbing. And it got me on this true crime kick. It's just fascinating what motivates people to do something so awful.
DARRYL was my first intro into true crime.
Yeah, that's the coolest part, knowing what's going on.
Amanda.
Yes.
I have a very serious question for you. Are you ready?
I am ready.
So I think one of my favorite things about the book that you just described to us was the extremely creative and unique nicknames that these people have. So what I would really love to know is, if you had a mobster nickname, what would it be?
So I feel like, I don't know. I think one of the things that I enjoy about them is a lot of times they're sort of alliterative.
Mm-hmm.
Like that TikTok Tannenbaum is just so perfect. I feel like I don't know. mine would be Rough 'em Up Roundtree. It's got the violence and the alliteration.
Yes.
What else do you need?
So good.
I want to hear Emily's.
I've been trying to think of one.
Deadly Day.
Something with day. Dead as a doorknob day.
You can.
Oh, is it doornail? It's doornail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I messed that up. That's okay.
Sometimes my husband, or is it my sister, calls me totalitarian Talia.
Oh, well, you're on the terror.
Talia the Terror, right?
Samantha, you have a mobster nickname?
Samantha's such a bad name for it. It's like a little too long and
Stick 'em
not
up,
easy.
Maybe like
Yeah.
Sammy
Yeah.
Slaughter or something like
Sammy Slaughter. That's good. That's good.
I think that's it.
Sammy Slaughter. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the topic of some dark and gruesomeness, I'm going to tell you about Ink by Jonathan Maberry. That's the cover. So Ink is a standalone from Jonathan Maberry. It's a supernatural thriller, really for anyone who has or dreams of having tattoos. So Ink features a woman named Patty Cakes. What a great name is that? I'm obsessed with that name. And she's a tattoo artist, and on the back of her hand, she has a tattoo of her dead daughter's face. And one day, it starts to fade, as tattoos sometimes do, except that as the fading gets worse, Patty starts to forget more and more about her little girl until she doesn't have any memories left, and the tattoo is totally gone. Now, we also have Monk Addison. He lives in the same town, and he's a private investigator, and he's absolutely covered in tattoos. But his are all of the faces of different murder victims. And some of those faces have also started to fade. And they're not alone. All throughout their town of Pine Deep, people are having their tattoos fade, and along with that, their precious memories taken from them. So someone, or something, dun dun dun, is stealing tattoos and the memories that go along with them. Creepy and delightful.
Emily, you have to have a tattoo story then.
I do have a tattoo story. I have some tattoos. You can see that one. There's one there, and there's some over here. But the one that has the best story is this one. For all of my librarians out there who attend library conferences, you know that sometimes we visit really fun cities. In the past couple of years, we were in New Orleans, and while I was in New Orleans, yes, on a work trip with some coworkers, some of whom are on this call, we all decided to get tattoos. So that's probably my favorite tattoo story, is getting one with my coworkers and my boss while on a work trip. It wasn't Talia. Maybe. I'll never tell.
That is such a great story. I haven't heard that one.
To be clear, we did not get matching tattoos. Put that out there.
If you could get any tattoo right now, assuming tattoo parlors are open, what would you get?
You know, I'm itching to get one. I know that tattoo parlors are probably not open or a safe place to be right now, although they're very sterile. I do feel like tattoo parlors are probably on the cleanlier side of places that are starting to open. I don't know. I mean, I would never do this, but part of me just wants to get like COVID or something, quarantine, something to like commemorate.
Quarantine.
I would never actually do it, but I'm sure there are people out there who are doing that.
Definitely.
The worst part about Corona, other than obviously people dying, sorry, I'm not laughing. My sister's name is Rona. And I'm not joking. Yeah, we're Talia and Rona, and I think that it's unfortunate that such a beautiful name is. But then again, there's, that's sad for Rona, but she's alive and healthy.
That's great.
Yeah. So back to tattoo for just 1 second, because I've been dying to get another tattoo, and the tattoo I want is a Tom Gold.
Yes.
He has a book with these like little face and a smile and these little hands and feet, and they're just like, it's a book with hands and feet. I want to get that. And Elise Gravel, another cartoonist from John and Quarterly, has this chubby black cat that's like, and I'm just like, that's me. It's me. So anyway.
One of my friends really wants to just get the word bagel. And I'm all, like, they're very serious. They really, really want it. And I think that's really cool.
But is it a plain bagel, sesame bagel, everything bagel? Just
I
bagel?
mean, just the word
bagel. That's such a good word. Or knish is a good word. I really like knish. Or kugel. I would never get that as a tattoo. I hate her. Sorry. There are other people on this call. Tattoo stories, anyone?
I think I'm the only one that doesn't have a tattoo on here.
Oh, you're
so if you
cool.
Would you get one, or is there anything that you could think of that you would want to tattoo on your body?
I feel like I want one. However, I also feel like I'm way too indecisive to actually choose something. If I had to pick in this moment, I would probably do a small fleur-de-lis somewhere for New Orleans, and it's pretty, but I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before I graduated college, I only have one. And it's a feather. And for me, it sort of symbolized like flight and strength and freedom, and you can do whatever you want to do. And I was like, I'm going to New York. I'm going to like make it big. And here I am. It worked.
I like that. Going back to the bagel quickly, I do know someone that has a bagel and iced coffee tattoo, and the bagel has cream cheese, lox, and onion on it or something, and it's very detailed.
I love like really, really detailed food tattoos.
Yeah, and it's like super fine line, so it's really pretty too, but it's also a bagel.
One of our librarian friends, is it Erin Shea, has an avocado. And she and Stephanie Chase have the Dewey Decimal numbers for taco.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love that. I'm sorry. I fluffing love that. Wait.
I admire the creativity.
Yeah. I mean, the things people come up with, right?
Yeah. I would never be able to come up with something.
But Samantha, you have a very serious book to tell us about.
I'm taking a quick turn here I do have a picture of it now. Let's see. Is this up? No, I'm just really dark. Confessions in B flat by Donna Hill. So this is an Own Voices romance written by a woman who lived through the civil rights movement in New York City. It is so beautiful. It's about Jason from Atlanta and Anita from Brooklyn. They meet on a bus ride going from the South back to New York. It's Jason's first time there. And they talk for a minute and nothing. And then a few weeks later, they run into each other again. And it's fate. Jason works for Martin Luther King Jr., Anita works for Malcolm X, and so they have completely opposite, differing views, and it seems like everything's too different for them for it to ever work, but they completely prove that where there's love, you can make anything work. This is also a kind of Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it has poetry, transcripts from the time, and historical photos. The photos also include Donna's house from growing up in Brooklyn, in New York, and some restaurants that she went to, which is really fun to see. So it's a historical romance, a love story between two people that are completely different from completely different families, parts of life, but it really proves that anything can bring people together, and Confessions in B Flat is very timely, and I had such a fun time and entertaining way to learn about history that doesn't really seem to be changing all that much, but it
Sadly,
yeah. So highly recommended. It's available on Edelweiss too. Definitely download.
I'd love to focus on the Romeo and Juliet aspect of the novel a little bit, because there have been so many retellings, and I love the Romeo and Juliet movie adaptations, and I was wondering if you have any favorites or a favorite movie adaptation for Romeo and Juliet. Well,
I'm a Claire Danes movie girl.
I mean, Claire Danes, Leonardo DiCaprio, the music, the clothes, it was so good. And
oh my gosh, the costumes. I love the costumes. I love that one. I also, so I was actually in Romeo and Juliet in 5th grade.
Who were you? Were you Juliet?
Oh, I was Benvolio. And there were 5 people that played each part, and we had to say our lines at the same time. So I wasn't really in Romeo and Juliet. I was there. But we had to watch all of the movies then, and as a 5th grader, I was like, what does any of this mean? But that was when I watched the Claire Danes, Leonardo DiCaprio for the first time, and then I liked it.
In 5th grade? How scandalizing.
It's a little inappropriate.
Yeah.
I know.
You're ahead of your time. You're an old soul.
I was an old 5th grader.
5th grade. Oh my God.
I'm partial to the Romeo and Juliet.
Just a Nomeo. How clever is that?
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's just delightful. You should watch it.
I can't wait. I've never seen it, but I love the idea that it's a gnome. Oh, can we also talk about Shakespeare in Love? And was that the year Gwyneth Paltrow wore that pink thing to the Oscars? How did we feel about that dress? I'm mixed. I mean, was it amazing or was it hideous?
I mean, yeah, I'm having trouble picturing it in my head right now.
We'll come back to it. Or what about the year unrelated to Romeo and Juliet, but related to Claire Danes? Do you remember the year she wore a dress that like lit up and she looked like this Disney princess? It was a Zac Posen dress.
Claire Danes.
Yeah, I'm making this up. Maybe it was the Met Gala. Like it lit up, and she looked like a snow
Did
princess.
do that? Like,
oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Claire Danes is just spectacular. She can do no wrong. I grew up on Jared Leto or Jordan Catalano, My So-Called Life, and Angela Chase. Right, we're not talking about me. Next question. So you mentioned that this book is told with poetry and transcripts and photographs. And the only maybe this is because I haven't expanded my reading lately, but I can only think of graphic novels that do that really well. And I was just wondering if, this is not a graphic novel, but do you have any favorite graphic novels? I know I have a favorite. Do you have any that you've read recently? Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely not recently. However, I did find it recently, but I was a very reluctant reader when I was younger, probably around 5th grade, and I read the Bone series. It's graphic novels literally about a bone, and they like walk through the forest and they go on all these adventures.
Oh my goodness.
And that was the only way I would read, and it was so much fun. So that got me.
Well, I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
It's really fun. And there were like 13 of them or something.
Wow.
And that almost started my reading career. Yeah.
Have you read Mouse?
Yes.
So it's Art Spiegelman's amazing graphic novel about his father surviving the Holocaust. He survived the Holocaust, but anyway, it's his time in Auschwitz. And I had never read a graphic novel before this, and I was a religion and Jewish studies major in college, and it was a book I had to read for school, and I'm like, I can't believe that he can tell this story so well with pictures. And if you've never read it, please read it and prepare for a serious gut punch.
Yeah.
I love Woman World. I think it's a Dronic Horley book, and it's about the world after all of the men have died. And it's so good and funny and heartwarming and beautiful. I really loved it.
Yeah, when I was in college, well, before this, one of my favorite movies is V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah.
And it's just amazing. And I love Natalie Portman. But anyway, in college, I read the graphic novel. Thinking like, oh my God, this is going to be like so awesome. The storylines are not particularly similar. So if you're going in with the movie in your head, it'll be a different experience. But like, I feel like, kind of like what Talia was saying, like being able to do this in images. And like, I always remember there's one scene where it's like showing this character's face, and they are like the amount of detail that they can put into the drawing, and like what that adds to also the reading experience was really cool. So they were separate but equal, I would say.
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for joining us for another session of random shit we feel like talking about. Oops. We cannot wait to see you again. Bye.